Mr. Muller, Professor Alخو ویدال کوادراس, honorable members of the Bundestag, distinguished personalities, dear friends, guten Tag. Thank you for organizing this meeting and giving me this occasion. I'm delighted that the great friend of the Iranian people and Iranian resistance, Mr. Vīdal Quadras, is present at this meeting. The assassination attempt on Professor Vīdal Quadras' life and his reaction say everything about the nature of the clerical regime and the right policy against it. Certainly, Mr. Vīdal Quadras is one of the examples of dignity in Europe. He defended democratic values and human rights by paying a heavy price. When the clerical regime placed him on its terror list, he described it as a badge of honor. When he was shot, he used all his strength for pointing to the Iranian regime as the perpetrator. After this tragic incident, according to his wife, dear Amparo, he couldn't wait to return to the scene and confront the clerical regime. I'm delighted to see him with the same energy as before, or perhaps even more. I'm proud for having friends like Professor Vīdal Quadras and every one of you, despite belonging to another nation, country, religion, and language. You have joined us based on common humanitarian values, human rights, and democratic rights. You have come to support the Iranian people in this challenging war against religious fascism. A day will come that the Iranian people warmly welcome you in a free Iran. Dear friends, exporting terrorism, Islamic fundamentalism, and warmongering are the main elements of the foreign policy of the clerical regime in Iran. This has always been a part of the regime's survival strategy. But in the current situation, because of its extreme weakness and its fear from people's uprisings leading to its overthrow, it has resorted to these destructive policies. The religious dictatorship ruling Iran is at war with Iranian society and the international community. In 2023 alone, the regime executed 864 individuals. These days, the regime has intensified suppression of women in the streets. Their goal is to enchain the society and prevent another uprising. In addition, it launched terrorist attacks abroad on the office of the National Council of Resistance in Berlin and centers affiliated with the resistance in Paris and London, and plots against Ashraf III and trial for more than 100 members of the Iranian resistance in their absence. The recent developments in the region also show that the regime relies on war to maintain its power. On April 13, the regime had to put aside the mask of proxy groups and directly enter the war. It was proved that the main party to the war that started on October 7 is the Iranian regime. Khamenei is the only party that benefits from the horrific killings and suffering of innocent people in the region. The head of the snake of war and terrorism is in Tehran. The increase of the regime's export of terrorism and warmongering clearly indicates that the previous policy towards the Iranian regime has been mistaken. This highlights the need for a correct path forward. The policy of appeasing religious fascism in the last 3 decades has had 2 crucial elements. First, indifference and ignoring oppression of the Iranian people and the regime's acts of warmongering and terrorism abroad. Second, siding with the regime to block the path towards democratic change in Iran. The most crucial lesson from the recent terrible events is that this policy must be stopped. It should be replaced with a policy that supports democratic change by the Iranian people and Iranian resistance. The final solution is the overthrow of the regime by the Iranian people and the Iranian resistance that is now more available than ever before. I've stated the Iranian resistance and our people are capable of regime change. Our demands is to stop making concessions to this regime. The question is, considering the IRGC involvement in terrorism and warmongering, why does the European Union hesitate to declare it as a terrorist entity? According to the leaked documents to the media, IRGC covered companies in Germany are involved in the preparation of sensitive materials for military use. In addition, a significant number of agents from the Ministry of Intelligence and the IRGC are operating in various Western countries by espionage and terrorism and demonization against the PMI and supplying missile and drone equipment. Why are they tolerated in Europe? Dear friends, in these circumstances, the European Union should stand by the people of Iran. This is not only the desire of Iranians, but also a vital element for peace and tranquility in the Middle East and the world. This is essential to put an end to terrorism and prevent tragic events like the attempt on the life of Professor Álejo Vídal Quadras. I hope that members of the Bundestag will promote the initiative in presenting the right policy to achieve these objectives. First, officially designating the IRGC as a terrorist entity. 2, declaring the Iranian regime as a threat to world peace and security under Chapter 7 of the United Nations Charter. 3, activating the snapback mechanism in UN Security Council Resolution 2231. And 4, recognizing the Iranian people's struggle to overthrow the Mullah's regime. Thank you all very much.